per month. And Beverly can help you with that. If you're watching online, then you can contact our office at 901-820-4469, or you can go straight to our site, businessovercoffee.biz. Email us at connect@businessovercoffee.biz, and we'll give you more information on that. At the end of today, this workshop, we will have Virginia Rowland, who is the manager of Ridgeway Business Center, come in and tell us about the 10% off that you can receive as a professional member of BOCI for any virtual office space or conference room space here. And also she offers tours, so we want to make that clear. It's always available, but we're going to get it out there in front of you. And I believe that is all from here. It will be on Cheryl Hurley, who is a professional business owner, the status quo. I believe everyone here knows her, but for the virtual audience, Cheryl is a fabulous pro blogger and is piloting the BOCI Pro Blog Series. What are we calling that?
The workshop series?
This right here. You're piloting the program, professional blogging program.
Yeah, the member blog.
Yes, member blog program. Cheryl is piloting that, and we should have some of these, Beverly, to hand out. So let's make sure everybody gets one of these. And Cheryl will fill you in on that more. But she also is a business owner in her own right in the Professional Boost program, represents us very well and represents her company greatly, has made it in our news in Canada, in Phoenix, Arizona, has made it on the news with Sylvia Othair, who was in Forbes magazine and so forth with our radio show, has also been on with Bob Berg, I believe, if I recall correctly. So lots of good things are happening for Cheryl, not to mention all the other things she has in the bag. So give it up for Cheryl Hurley.
Okay, so who does everyone have a computer with them or some form of computer?
Some form.
Okay, so last month what I did was mainly lecture and kind of talk about just the principles of blogging and the best practices. But this month we really wanted to work with you guys on setting up a blog, picking a name, doing all of that stuff, actually putting what we talked about last month into practice. So the purpose of today is just simply the interaction. So I'm here to answer any questions and guide you through that beginning process. So who has a blog already? Okay. And I assume everyone else wants a blog. Okay. All right. So I guess for the rest of you, Delmar, will you explain the name of your blog, what platform you use, and the general, I guess, like topic?
For my blog, you know what is the title of my blog? This is kind of crazy, isn't it?
I think it's like blog at.
Yeah, I blog at businessovercoffee.biz is where my blogs are housed at right now. And I have started blogging about journaling and how effective it is for not only your personal but your professional life. And Cheryl has been helping me tremendously with that, and we're going to be delving into some other topics that are going to be on my new website that I'm launching next week. So it's going to be encompassing the three parts of me, as I call myself, the HR side of me, the career training side of me, and then the empowerment side of me. So we're going to be delving into blogging like that. So she has made it not so painful for me to do blogging, because when you think about it when I think about it too hard, it blocks me from blogging. But how she does it and how she carries me through the process of doing it, it has my thoughts flowing a whole lot better than me trying to just look at a blank piece of page. So it's been an awesome experience. So she's awesome.
Thank you. Do you want to? Is your blog just part of your?
It's part of my website,
okay.
What I'm doing, but I'm wanting to do a facelift on it and call it Behind the Story. My company is Storytellers, so I'll tell the stories behind the stories of my customers.
Okay, great. Do you want to explain what you want to blog about and what the whole idea behind your blog is, or are you just kind of thinking about it?
You know what? I wasn't here first.
Okay.
So I am basically trying to get a good idea Coffee is.
Okay.
And I have hit the blog button on Business Over Coffee and written something. I don't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I just did it because it looked like fun. We do want to promote what we do. We have a combination of ministry, because we have the church and the business. And our business is basically saving people money on the products and services that they use every day, essential services, and or showing them how to make money off of certain products. What I blogged off of when I was on Business Over Coffee was the success. That was just my topic. I like talking about that even in ministry, success. So
Yeah, that's great.
I'm here.
And then, Melinda, do you want to explain what you want to talk about?
Well, the company is Plexus Slim, and there's a group of people here. And things that I'd like to blog about is like when we have someone new join us. Like this past week, we had a mother and her adult son who's special needs, and both are extremely overweight. And so they're going to have a pretty phenomenal story to follow them. And he's really, I mean, he just has touched all of our hearts, because when you look at, long-term health,
Right.
and then he's so excited, he said, can I tell people, And so just to kind of, blog about his story and just different people is really what we want to do.
Great. All right, well, that sounds good. So what we're going to start with is something I think is super important, because, I mean, it's the first thing you know about anybody's blog, but a lot of people don't necessarily spend the time in thinking about it like they should, and that is, of course, the name. And one thing that we talked about last month was the 4 main characteristics of a name, or a good name. And that is it being catchy, it being memorable, easy to spell, and lastly, not taken, which sounds, overly simple, but it can be the most difficult one of all of them. So what I kind of wanted to do this month, as opposed to last month, it seems like you have a great name already for your blog. But for you guys, I wanted to kind of like brainstorm names and go through that process of, thinking, is that catchy? Will I confuse that with something else, etc. So that we can actually choose a name or, something to work with for you guys. So do you want to just kind of like think about something?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this name need to be one that we can capture the URL on?
Yeah, that's
the critical part. Okay.
Right. That is the, as I said, it can be the most difficult part. You think you have this amazing name and you go to check it on GoDaddy and it's not available. And some people will try to work around that by getting a .net or a .co, but I just don't think I don't recommend that at all, because the person who has the .com is going to get a lot of your traffic. So to me, it's better to just find a name that's available. And actually, on that note, I wanted to show you guys this website. This is something I definitely recommend. It's called Namecheck, but they spell it CHK, so that is doesn't necessarily pass my criteria for a name, but it works for them. Here is where you can put your name in, and it'll tell you it's 160 different platforms. It'll show you if it's available. It doesn't show GoDaddy, but between Namecheck and GoDaddy, you'll be able to tell pretty easily. So another thing you can run into is your URL may be available, but you can't get the Facebook name, and then you have to call your thing like, the status quo Facebook, and it can get kind of complicated, and you don't want to put like the burden of proof essentially on your readers. You want to make it as simple for them as possible. So let's, I guess, talk about names for maybe, do you want to talk about Plexus Slim one day?
Well, actually, because I've already captured the URL on GoDaddy
Okay.
of Making Memphis Slim.
Okay.
But I don't know what else to check. That's where I'm at now. I'm going, okay, so I'm on this. So I just put in Making Memphis Slim here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's stumbled upon, it's taken, YFrog, eOpinions, Photo Bucket. delicious.
So as it pops up like that, it's showing the places that it's already taken?
The
Yes.
ones that are red are taken, the ones that are green are available.
Oh,
So then I'm okay on LinkedIn, I'm okay on Twitter,
that's pretty cool.
Blogger, Facebook, YouTube. So I'm
You're
on the right road.
Right.
Good, because I actually captured that probably a year ago, not
Okay.
knowing what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah, I have probably 20 domain names and I use like 4. So you want to just make sure that if you have an idea, it's better to just buy the $10 domain name and have it. But
So now what do you do to go capture all these?
I would go capture all of them. I would go to Facebook, sign up for it, Twitter and YouTube, eBay and all of that stuff. And of course, it's going to be very difficult to find a name that is available on all of them. I mean, GetGlue, I honestly, social media is my business and I don't know what that is. I mean, there's just so many out there.
Well, I was gonna say, surely you're not gonna go through all these.
No.
Okay.
No,
just
you-
pick the top 5.
Right, I mean, if it's available on Facebook, if it's available on LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube.
What's this Blogger? 'Cause it's-
Blogger is the Google version of WordPress.
So you would want to do that
essentially.
too?
I mean, I would, just so that someone else can't go out there and get it, but for the most part, if you have a domain name, you're not gonna need WordPress or Blogger, like WordPress.com or Blogger.com. You'll be using WordPress as an app on your domain, but
So don't need the WordPress and Blogger really then?
no, I mean, you're not gonna use it necessarily, but if someone else has it and has makingmemphisslim.wordpress.com, that can also be kind of confusing.
Okay, so
So-
just capture them and,
Mhm.
okay.
And you can always put a redirect code on if you have the WordPress, so it just sends it to makingmemphislim.com.
Okay.
Right. Does that bring up your SEO by having multiple sites out there, say free WordPress sites or whatever, but they're all being redirected?
It will because it has inbound links for
Right.
sure, and WordPress has a very high SEO just by nature. Because there's not going to be a lot of content on it, it's not necessarily going to like send a lot of search traffic to your makingmemphislim.wordpress, but because there's a WordPress linking to your makingmemphislim.com, that will boost your SEO. That's a good point. I don't even
Yeah.
think about that. So are there any questions so far? Other than,
Okay, that was namecheck.com.
and it's namechk.com.
Did your internet come up?
Is the internet working okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't.
I was trying to.
It's just a little slow.
Yeah, she has it up.